A few years back, God allowed me to go through one of the hardest seasons of my life. I was so broken that I couldn't even pray. I had to rely on God's promises and the Holy Spirit to carry me. I was so overwhelmed with grief that all I could do was mumble and ask the Holy Spirit to pray for me. And one night, after becoming extremely angry with God, I went into a dream or a trance where I was completely surrounded by rats, and a dark figure with eyes that looked like lightning stood on my shoulders and said, "You can choose to serve me or God." And I woke up, I repented, and I made a firm decision that no matter what I face, I will serve God alone. But although I chose God, I was still carrying a very heavy and wounded heart that became very bitter. And about a year later, while I was at church at the altar, the pastor looked at me and said, "God is asking, when are you going to heal?" And I was so confused. But that question changed everything. And I realized that I had been waiting on answers from God and I was waiting for God to heal me. But without realizing it, I held on to the pain and became bitter. And it was keeping my heart closed from healing. And God showed me that healing is a decision. And many people today are waiting for answers that may never come. They spend years hoping the pain will eventually fade away with time, or they wait for a specific form of closure, such as an apology or an explanation. However, healing is not something we simply wait for. It is a choice to begin the journey of letting go, seeking restoration, and moving forward, even when the answers or circumstances we hope for never arrive. Because oftentimes that kind of closure never comes. That's why healing has to depend on the work we put in and leaning on God's words. But many people have unknowingly closed their hearts to healing by declaring things like, "I'll never heal from this," or "I'll never get over this," or "only God can heal this because there's nothing I can do." And although God is absolutely our healer, those words become agreements that keep our hearts completely closed to healing but open to bitterness. And so instead, we should choose to declare words of healing by saying things like, "I don't know how God will do this, but I know He will heal me. I may be broken today, but I will not stay broken forever. The Lord is my healer, and I trust Him to restore me." If you are new here, welcome to Mental Rising, a channel meant to support those who are struggling to walk in God's purpose because of unhealed wounds, being overwhelmed, and just overall feeling stuck. Here we focus on biblical healing, practical steps to help you move forward in faith. Today's message is for those who know God has called them to more, but they feel stuck because they haven't healed from the pain of their past. And if this encourages you, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Now, deciding to heal isn't about forgetting, about what happened. It's about gently laying down the burden that those experiences has placed on you and allowing yourself to move forward without letting it continue to control your emotions, your decisions, or the direction of your life. Because what often keeps us stuck isn't what happened, it's what we continue to carry because of it. The pain, the grief, the embarrassment, the shame, the disappointment, the unforgiveness, and so on. And if you're beginning your healing journey, here are a few practical steps you can take. Number one is to acknowledge that you need healing. And I say this because many people constantly talk about the pain they have for years, but they will never admit that they actually need healing. And number two is pray with intention for healing and also ask God to reveal the areas of your heart that still need healing. Sometimes we don't realize we're carrying additional wounds until they show up in repeated patterns, such as engaging in unhealthy relationships, having ongoing fear, anger, or anxiety issues. And number three, guard what you speak over yourself. Stop declaring that you will never recover. Instead, speak God's promises over your life. Number four, journal daily for a few minutes. This will help you to process your thoughts instead of bottling them up. And trust me, this truly helps. Number five, create at least two positive declarations towards your healing that you could stick on your wall and repeat every day. And number six, keep moving. Aim for at least 20 minutes of movement 3 times a week, whether it's stretching, light exercise, or going for a walk. Movement helps reduce stress, lift your mood, ease tension, and boost your overall well being, which is so important for emotional and mental healing. And lastly, leave the rest to God. You cannot force healing, but you can surrender your heart to the one who heals. Trust his timing and process. The Bible reminds us he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalms 147, verse 3. And God never promised that every question would be answered, but He did promise His presence. If you are so crushed in spirit that you cannot even find the words to pray, remember you're not alone. The Holy Spirit intercedes for you, and the Lord remains close to the brokenhearted. Until next time, remember your past doesn't have to define your future. Healing may not happen overnight, but as you walk with God, one step at a time, he faithfully restores what has been broken. Stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.